Hello, everybody, and welcome to your favorite show each and every week. We're talking Clemson football. We are talking about OrandeShadez Podcast, brought to you by Arden's Burger and Grill here in Central South Carolina. We're here live today, and of course, you can't have an OrandeShadez Podcast without the man, the myth, the legend. We're talking about Clemson wide receiver, Aries Curry. Aries, how's it going, man?
It's going great, Jay. Down here in Gamecock Country, it's a beautiful day. Shout out to the Tiger Nation. Let's talk some Clemson football.
All right. Well, folks, last week Clemson took on Troy. We thought this game was going to be a blowout. It was going to be Clemson's way of getting back on track. And Aries, instead, it was more of the same. Clemson struggling. They did get the win this time, though. Now, a lot of people say, well, Troy's not a powerful team. They're not this or that. Troy has always seemed to have Clemson's number in the years as far as giving them a headache. Even though Clemson has won, they seem to have always done a job at creating havoc with Clemson.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with, playing down to your opponent. For them, it's like their Super Bowl or their national championship game. So, of course, they're going to get up. At the end of the day, they don't have anything to lose. So, they're going to play lights out football.
All right. Well, there you go, folks. We're going to just head straight on into our game this week, and that is going to be Clemson taking on Georgia Tech. This game will be at noon at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is having a whiteout, so we're going to see exactly what we're going to have this coming week. Aries, this week, been a lot of talk about Cade. What does they call it? Rat poison. He can't take bad criticism, but now he can't take good criticism. What's your thoughts on stuff like that?
Well, people, I think outsiders are going to talk. You have to, as an athlete, you have to drown out that outside noise. A lot of times athletes in that position, that high caliber athlete, you're going to be your own biggest critic anyway. I don't know him personally or anything. I haven't seen anything in the press or whatnot, but I don't necessarily see that being the case. But he's definitely, I think he's going to step up to the challenge. They expect him to be a dude, a guy, like Coach Sweeney was saying in his last press conference, and I think he'll rise to that occasion. All
right. Well, Aries, tell us a little bit about what Clemson's going to have to do on offense this week to beat Georgia Tech.
Well, first, I think we got a few keys that we have to arc on, Jay. We've got to establish some kind of running game.
Yeah.
Right now, our rushing attack is sitting at just 75.5 yards per game, which ranks us 128th in the country. We can't compete for an ACC title running the ball like that. So the offensive line has to get some push up front. We got to get the back some rooms to work, and force Georgia Tech's defense to respect the run. Second, we've got to get Cade Plubnik into a rhythm early. He's a senior. He's got the talent, but we can't ask him to do it all. Give him some easy completions, slants, screens, some stick concepts, something to get the ball in those receivers' hands, our young receivers, Westgo and Moore, and let those guys do what they can do with the ball after the catch. And it also builds some confidence for those guys as well, too. Third, efficiency is everything. We can't afford to get behind the chains.
Yep.
That means winning on first and second down, no negative plays, no penalties, putting us in second and 15 or third and long. Staying on schedule, I think, keeps the playbook full open and allows us to play with tempo. And I think those three keys, I think if we accomplish those, Jay, I think we'll be all right. So we definitely have to start off fast and set the tone early and finish the game strong. We can't sleepwalk on this. We're going into a hostile environment with Georgia Tech. They don't have anything to lose. A loss here doesn't just sting. It completely wrecks our shot, I think, at another ACC championship. So we got to be locked in and focused for this game, Jay.
I agree with you, Aries, especially on making sure the running game gets off going well. It doesn't matter which running back it is. Let's just get it going. We've got to establish that running game, and I think that you're going to see a Clemson team that's going to have to go out there and just punish the Georgia Tech defensive line. And that's something that Georgia Tech's known for right now. Is they're a very nasty bunch all the way across the board, offense and defense. I mean, they really practice the trench war, and that's something that Clemson's going to have to win.
Oh yeah, definitely would. Because don't we have a couple guys that have been, kind of nursing some injuries, injuries or whatnot. So, hey, they're gonna have to step up. They're gonna have to step up and play big boy football this weekend. First truth test as far as opening game, ACC conference game.
Well, one thing that's going to help is the wide receiver group gets back one of the veterans this week. And how important is that for Cade to have Antonio Williams back?
Oh man, that's extremely important because it gives him confidence to know that he has a guy on the field that can blow the top off the defense at any time, and he doesn't have an issue getting open in the crowd of the defense. It's just his savviness, his skill and intelligence and his knowledge of the game that he brings to that wide receiver core. You can see that the lack thereof last week in the game against Troy. It's like, who do I go to? And Antonio Williams, he gives us that target, and that doesn't do nothing but help just elevate the play for the rest of the receivers as well too. So they start keying on Antonio Williams. That just gives the other guys the opportunity to be open in whatever holes we find in the defense.
What is your thoughts on the Clemson offensive line? They're getting a lot of heat for, people are trying to. You see people on Twitter and YouTube that are former players, and all they want to do is pick apart Clemson's coaching staff. I'm sorry, but Matt Luke's been around long and has forgotten more than some of these guys have ever known. What's your thoughts on the offensive line? I think some of that has to do with what Cade has admitted that, hey, I took off running when I shouldn't have.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's definitely a combination of both. And let's just be honest. Offensively speaking, the offensive line has always been a weak point, talking point for us at Clemson. As far as the offense goes, that's nothing new under the sun. That's always been everybody's issue with Clemson football and our offense. So just like you saw, it was a lot of times where Cade, he could have sat in that pocket. The offensive linemen did do what they need to do as far as providing protection for him. So with a guy like Matt Luke, I think those guys will just continue to develop and get better each week. So I see an issue there. Once again, just like with Cade, those guys just going to have to rise to the occasion, and drown out that outside noise.
Well, one thing I want to talk about is the defense. Going into 2025, the defensive line was supposed to be the stable, the rock of this, but yet.
I tell you what, not to cut you off, that's what I've been most disappointed in. I'm like, those guys did not look like guys versus a Troy offensive line. I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people are looking at, and they've been playing good, but they're not playing elite. We're talking about
they're not dominating.
Yeah, they're not dominating, and that's the thing that I after watching Clemson both their games that I notice is it's like people know like the hole to find between Peter Woods and T.J. Parker or Capehart and Hitt. I mean, it's just like they're picking the right spot to go, and it's at the worst times for Clemson when we need a stop. Somehow these teams, Troy and LSU, was able to get right through, and not the whole time, but it seemed like when they needed to, they could.
Yes, you're exactly right. You're exactly right, Jay.
And our secondary has been kind of lit up, and that was something I wasn't expecting. I knew they wasn't going to be completely awesome. I mean, we already know that Avion was going to be great, but I mean we had some other pieces that we were looking at. Now I do want to give it up for the tight end that turned into a safety. He has really been playing well, but the biggest thing that I see is that Peter Woods is just not getting that pass rush that we had hoped he would get. Now that he has superstars on all sides of him and he doesn't have to play defensive end, he can concentrate on what he was brought to Clemson for. What is your thoughts on Peter Woods so far this year?
I haven't seen him do anything. There's much to think about. Like I haven't seen. Like you want to, as a player, as a recruit, or an opposing team, you want to turn on the film and see a guy just disrupting the offense. And if you go and sit in that film room with it, I don't think you see that. Because I don't see that watching the games in person on my TV.
Yeah.
Like I don't see him in the backfield. I don't see him stuffing holes and stuff, just being disruptive in the defense on that defensive line like we know he can be.
Yeah. Now, I want to get your thoughts. what is the key to the game for the Clemson offense this week?
So, well, those keys, like I mentioned earlier, we got to be able to run the football. Got to run the football. We have to be efficient as far as managing the chains. Like I said, we got to be efficient on first and second down. We can't get behind the chains and find ourselves in third and long, because now it's just predictable what we got to do offensively when it comes to possibly getting to the first down, unless you just want to manage it. I'm going to do something, a draw play or whatever, just to get some type of yardage back. And then lastly, we got to finish strong. We got to start off fast, and we got to finish strong. We got to play 4 quarters of football, everybody giving it their all.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Who do you think is going to be our key player for the offense this week?
I'm going Antonio Williams. Jay. I think he missed out on some opportunities. I think he'll want to come back and bounce back and be a veteran guy for us on offense for his team.
I tell you what, I'm going to go in the wide receiver area, but I'm going to go with someone. I'm going to go with Wesco. I think that this could be the game. Now that Antonio Williams is back, he's going to draw a lot of attention, and Wesco is going to just go flying down the sideline for some big, deep passes.
Yeah, I like that pick.
I give him a touchdown for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think he gets in the end zone.
On defense, who do you see needs to be the star this week in defense?
Man, it's hard to say. It's definitely going to have to be somebody in that box with the physicality that Georgia Tech is going to bring to us, running the football or whatnot. I'm gonna go with Woodaz, man. I'm gonna go with Woodaz, just being able to plug and fill gaps on that second level. I think our defensive line step up. I'm pretty sure that the coaches have been on them this week and just challenging them and hoping they step up to that challenge and they do their jobs. And Woodaz coming in and just completely blow stuff up.
Give me T.J. Parker. He is supposed to be a number 1 pick this year in the draft. And so far, he has not been playing even like a third string. And he's got the skills. We know he's going to be great in the NFL. But for some odd reason, he's just not been able to get where he should be this year. He's got 1 sack. He should have 2 or 3 at least 3 by now, especially with the competition they've fought. So, I mean, I know they play away from him some, but still, I think T.J. Parker is going to have to be the key to the defense. And let's go with a prediction for a couple games that are in the ACC areas and get your thoughts on it. Let's go to the first one. William and Mary at Virginia. Virginia lost to NC State, and they did win their first game of the year. And they take on a William and Mary team that I've seen against Furman and just barely lost to Furman, but is a team that has always been strong and giving Virginia fits.
Yeah. So, statistically speaking, looking at them on paper, you would think that's a game that Virginia should win based off talent, on the roster. But just like you said, historically speaking, it's been one of those things that William and Mary has been a toothache, a headache for that University of Virginia team. So it goes back to one of those things, once again, not playing down to that level of competition. That's their championship game or their conference championship game to go in and be able to play a team like UVA on their schedule, where that's an opportunity. I beat a bigger program, and that just doesn't do nothing but just give them more confidence, especially coming out early, being able to be successful, moving the football, first offensive series, or getting a stop defensively. Virginia's going to have to jump on them early and stay on them and not look back.
And
I think Virginia pulls it off. I think Tony Elliott rallies his guys. One of our former teammates, I got to rock with him on that side. I think Virginia pulls out the win with this one.
I agree with you. I think Tony Elliott's on the hot seat. He needs to win some big games.
Yeah.
So, and that's even though he's at Virginia, we still root for Clemson guys. Tony Elliott was always good to Clemson, so let's give Tony Elliott the praise. Now we got another one. This is called the Backyard Brawl. It's been a while since they've had it because it was a Big East battle before. Pittsburgh at West Virginia. Aries, what's your thoughts on that game?
Man, those are definitely two scrappy organizations, football teams. West Virginia is always known for getting all types of talent. Surprising to get guys from Florida in past years and whatnot. So and you see the trouble that Pitt gives us.
Yeah.
Every time they seem to always get up for us. So that being that reviving that old rivalry, I think it'll be a very good football game. I think it'll be an exciting football game. But I'm gonna go with West Virginia on this one.
I agree with you. I'm going to go West Virginia on this game, too.
Where are they playing at, Jay? Where are they playing
They're at West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm going West Virginia.
Backyard brawl and a bunch of couches get burned by the end of the night. Yeah. That's what they call it.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what it is about burning old couches in West Virginia. It's like a tradition or something. It's one of the weirdest traditions I've ever heard of.
It's definitely different. You've been to West Virginia, it's different.
Okay, now we got the biggest game this week. South Florida. We're talking about a team that has knocked off Florida, has knocked off, other teams. I mean, they are fixing to create a powerhouse at South Florida, and they go into Miami, a top 5 ranked Miami. Everybody thinks the U's back because they beat Notre Dame. What's your thoughts on this game? And I'll go ahead and tell you, give me South Florida. I want them to be top 5. After beating 3 ranked teams, they should be in the top 5.
What is the spread on this game? You know what the spread is?
The spread is 17. Miami's favored by 17.5.
17.5. And they play. Where's the game at?
It's at Miami, but South Florida has bought up a ton of tickets.
Well, that's right there in the backyard. So
yeah, it's not that far from them.
They're definitely going to bring a fan base to be supportive of that team. I tell you what, I haven't seen South Florida play this year. I've seen Miami. I've had a chance to check Miami out, and they look good. They definitely look good. So
the quarterback from South Florida is already getting some Heisman looks.
Jeez. I see you going with the upset. I'm gonna stay with the ACC on this one. I'm gonna go with the Canes. I'm gonna go with the U.
All right, there you go. You got Miami. Some other games of note. Duke's going to Tulane. Both these teams are playing pretty good right now. Right now they got Tulane by 1.5. So this game is definitely going to be a quick one. And then Minnesota goes to California. Boston College at Stanford. And Richmond goes to take on the Fighting Bill Belichick's. I got the wrong NFL coach. What's your thoughts on this one? I mean, I saw Richmond at Wofford, and they beat Wofford, but it wasn't by much. But of course, Wofford had scored an offensive touchdown in 3 games this year. So what's your thoughts on this game, Richmond at North Carolina?
Oh, Bill Belichick does not lose that game. He does not lose that game. I'm sure he's definitely got his guys more than prepared to go in there and win a game that they should win. Just the discipline that he brings to a team, and I'm sure he's going to hold those guys to the fire on that. So as far as executing, protecting the football, keying on the keys, and having their eyes where they need to have them on the defense. So I think the Hills come out of this one with a dub.
I agree with you, Aries. All right, now we get to the game that we've all been talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Clemson travels to Georgia Tech, 12 o'clock noon. Make sure, Tiger fans, get down there. I understand this game is sold out already. So I got a feeling Clemson's got their tickets already sold out. But I tell you what, folks, there is tickets on StubHub. So you can still go see this game because Georgia Tech fans will show up, but they won't show out. That's one thing. They do make noise, but they're not the most screaming athletic fans.
Not at all.
So, Aries, what's your thoughts? Give me your prediction on this game.
I'm going, of course, with my Tigers, 24-17. I think it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to be a hard-fought play game on both sides of the football. I think defense gets some stops and big key moments in the game that allow us to, come out with the victory in this game.
All right. I think this game is going to be so close that we go into overtime, folks. And I say this game will end 31-30, Clemson over Georgia Tech in overtime. And I'm thinking this is going to be a double overtime. I just think both these teams want this game. Both these teams are evenly stacked. The only thing that I would have Clemson winning by more, but Haynes King is going to be playing in this game. The only thing that worries me about Haynes King is he is injured in his back and his shoulder, and that's probably the last thing you want to see Peter Woods and T.J. Parker coming after you when you've got those kind of injuries as a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he's rushing it, but this game is big. This could catapult them and put basically a block on Clemson getting to the ACC championship if they lose this game, because Georgia Tech's got an easy schedule after Clemson. After that, Georgia Tech's schedule is pretty easy, whereas Clemson, they got SMU, they got Florida State. I mean, they've got some big games. So
yeah, you're right.
All right, folks.
I like that prediction.
Well, folks, we appreciate you joining us here on the OrandeShadez Podcast, brought to you by Ardensburg Grill in Central South Carolina, where I am today. And, folks, they have got fresh cut fries in Aries. They just brought me some. They're good. Aries has had their wings, double dip.
The wings are amazing. If you haven't tried them, you definitely have to get by there to try them out. The wings are amazing. I can't wait to get back up and try some more.
Oh, yeah. The best burgers, they got a Paladin burger, a Carolina caviar, and if people want that's not fish eggs, that's pimento cheese. Pimento cheese is considered Carolina caviar, so you got to try that. They've got a host of burgers, the Tiger Burger. When you come up, you get you a Tiger Sundae. That is their fresh cut French fries, and they put pulled pork, slaw, you name it. They put it on this big plate and feed you. You got to get you a Tiger Sundae when you come.
I'm gonna check it out. When I get up there.
All right, folks. Like we said, and also they got a restaurant in Westminster, South Carolina called Beef and Rib. Make sure you go by and see Angie. She's down there. We want to thank Pepsi Cola, Upstate Physical Therapy, Hyundai of Anderson. Use code HOA24 and they will give you a big deal. Folks, this has been the OrandeShadez Podcast. Thanks for joining us.